I'm Jorge Ribas, and this is Uncle Sam, and you're wondering... My fellow Americans, Election Day is finally here. And as you head to the polls, you might be voting on a machine that looks like this, or if you're voting for Herbert Hoover, this. But as you go to vote, ask yourself one question. Will you be better off voting 8 years from now than you are today?
There are a number of trends at play right now that I call sort of, where the future of voting is heading. Number one is paper.
Woo! Paper?
It was only a few years ago that the majority of voting was being done on what are called DREs.
DREs, or Direct Recording Electronic Systems, are computers that can be programmed for different ballots, languages, and even abilities for the visual or hearing impaired. They're also, according to some critics, easily hacked and prone to human error, like poor calibration.
Ooh, one of those electronic voting dealies.
One vote for McCain. Thank you.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
For this election, more than half of jurisdictions are using paper in the form of optical scanned ballots.
Historically, with optical scan technology, it's like an SAT test, right? You really had to be diligent about filling in the oval. With our system, even though the instructions are that you fill in the box, you can actually put an X in the box or a check mark. So it is about letting the technology do a repeatable and accurate job of interpreting those voter marks.
And avoiding voter intent problems like 2000's infamous hanging Chad. McNeil highlights another trend on the rise, permanent absentee voting.
If you think about it, that's really the closest thing that we have in this country to convenience voting. Several states now, California, for example, has now moved to, no excuse absentee voting. Previously, you had to be a certain age or have a certain illness that would prevent you from getting to a polling location. Now you can simply say, hey, look, until I tell you otherwise, just send me a ballot to my house.
Now that is good old-fashioned American convenience, like drive-through and the clapper.
Clap on, clap off, the clapper.
This year, 30 million people, including absentee mail-in voters, have already cast their ballots.
I think when this election is over, we'll conclude that mail-in absentee ballots were the most convenient way of doing early voting. At the same time, if you are worried about security, then mail-in absentee ballots are the one method right now that we have a lot of experience in corrupting. We have this intuition that somehow paper is uncorruptible and you can figure out if it's been corrupted, and so we want to see the receipt.
Wait, that's a pretty good idea. We get receipts for everything. Why not when we vote?
One of the real challenges there is the secret ballot. You need to be able to authenticate that the voter is eligible to vote, but after that, it is absolutely against the law and undesirable to be able to associate that vote with an individual.
Optical scanning machines, however, do give voters a second chance to look over their ballot and make any last-minute changes. That technology is part of the 2002 Help America Vote Act. So it looks like our past is our future as far as voting goes, at least until we have to vote between a robot and a cyborg.
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
I'm voting for the cyborg. For Discovery News, I'm Jorge Ribas, and I approve this message.